Hello, you wonderful humans. Good morning. So, it is March 23rd, and we are doing another daily creative to give you some guidance through a hero's journey spread on moving through things today, this week, this month, however and whenever this reading resonates for you. It doesn't necessarily have to resonate just today, so take from it what you will. This is also kind of a general reading, so I'm reading for the collective, so it could just be a sentence that resonates. It could be more than that. And I read the cards intuitively, so keep that in mind as well. And we are going to dive right into it. Side note, also, happy Aries season. I know I haven't been saying it in the videos, even though March 20th is technically when the sun moves into Aries and everything goes like firing up, firing on all engines. I've got some prominent Aries in my chart, which is both a blessing and sometimes a curse. I'm kidding. I love it. So I got a little bit of that fire energy. So this week I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what it brings. And I'm excited to get into this reading for you. So to begin, I invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, and healing. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's kick it off, my heroes. This is the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle by Kelly Sullivan Walden, and the artwork is by Rasuli. So I usually pull 3 cards on the side here that dive into a little bit. It's sort of like a preview, but also some overarching themes leading into the week, some feeding energies for the week. Feeding energies, that's weird. Energies feeding into the week, and by the week I mean day. Goodness me. Okay. Can you tell it's been a long day already? No, I'm kidding. I'm usually up between 4 and 5 most days. Some days I have the gift of being up at 2 o'clock in the morning, so that's extra exciting. But anyways, so thank you so much, Spirit. Divine drunkenness, really? Surrender to your spiritual reverie. Spirit cracks me up. Ally in disguise. Discover the hard-to-find blessing. That card is just beautiful. Ally in disguise. One more, please. Spirit, can you clarify? Thank you so much. Build in breaks. Saunter slowly. I love a good saunter, if I do say so myself. When I hike, do I hike or do I saunter? It's definitely more of this. So build in breaks, saunter slowly. That's a savoring card if I've ever seen it. A little bit of a jumper too. A lot of purple, like a lot of, I'm getting like this root and third eye blended together. So it could be that there's something to do with your security and stability that's kind of coming through, but it's coming through in ways that you don't expect, but it's also coming through in ways that they really only arrive when you take it easy. When you take it easy. Lazy river. I'm hearing lazy river. Divine drunkenness. Okay. And to celebrate Aries season, I'm going to use the Modern Witch Tarot by Lisa Sterle. So, or Sterle, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but my favorite Aries, Steph, my best friend, gave me this for Christmas, and I love this deck so much. So to celebrate her time, I am going to use this. So thank you so much, Steph. A lot of fire energy. For some reason, all of my best friends have ended up being either Aries or fire signs, which is funny. I mean, it's just, it's all good. It's all good. But nonetheless, Spirit, can you please clarify this spread and the details and guidance that my wonderful creative collective need going forward today and through this week, please, and thank you so much. My wonderful creative collective. Guidance on your hero's journey and where you're headed. Where you're headed. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's pretty amazing that when it's your season and your card comes out. All right. That's perfect. I love it. My spirit guides are having a very good time today. Okay. Woo! That's anytime the Fool comes out, such a good card. I actually had that on my vision board for a while because it was just energy that I really wanted to embody. So I'm excited that it's showing up in the tests section of this spread. Okay, so this one, okay. Spirit, can you please guide? Thank you so much. And can you continue to guide my wonderful creative collective for March 23rd for this spread on their hero's journey? Whoa, okay. All right. That was far too many. Jumpers. I mean, yeah, I'll take it. Can I just get one? Okay, that's perfect. Strength. Yep. Okay, so in your, where you're at right now is the world card. Now, this is great because yesterday that's kind of where was the big kind of takeaway from the challenge you were facing, right? And the world card is showing up as where you are today. This is your ordinary world when you know, where you are when you're called into that sense of adventure, when you're called into that, into and through that portal, that new start, right? So this also represents fixed energy. So it could be releasing some sense of stubbornness. I am Aquarius. So there's Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo in here. And we also have Leo here. So it could be that you're dealing with another fire sign. It could be that there is a lot of fiery energy. Leo is also the ruler of the 5th house, so that could be it as well. So it could be that there's something related to the houses in here. So Aquarius is the 11th house. Then you have Scorpio, which is the 12th house. So 11th, 12th, 5th, and 2nd house for all of these here. So it could be that those houses have been activated. It could be the full moon in Virgo that you're releasing something that's related to those houses. But we'll carry on. So this is sort of where you're at the beginning of things, right? And then as you're moving through when you receive that, you know, when you step out, that first step into adventure, you're stepping into and from the place of the Emperor, which is pretty boss energy, right? That's also the minor arcana reflection of this card is all of the kings. So it is all of the kings together, which is interesting because we don't have any in this spread right now. So this is you kind of embodying all of those that king energy, clarity, stability, being established, passion, and also emotion and being comfortable with your emotion, right? So it could be that there's something that, and yesterday we had the King of Cups. So, you know, we've actually had the King of Wands in the King of Swords, if I'm not mistaken, in the other readings this week. So it could be that there's something that you're progressing through and that you're kind of arriving at this point, you know, as we progress into Aries season. So you're embodying a lot of that fire energy in the Emperor, having integrated all of these different lessons that the different kings offer us. So that's a really great, maybe that's your call to adventure. Maybe that's what I'm getting, is the call to integrate and operate from that boss energy. This can also be a call to start your own business. The Emperor is that sort of, again, boss energy. It could be managerial energy. It could also be entrepreneurship. That's the other one that I get from this card as well. Making shit happen is really what it is. And also, you know, knowing what to do and what steps to do. This is like I guess, ultimate leadership. Like I have Aries North Node. And for me, this is, when I think about this is just not necessarily unique to the North Node positioning, but I think that when the Emperor comes up, what I think about is channeling your fire well and effectively. So it is not being taken to, you know, It's not channeling it through an immature sense of passion or an immature decision making where you make decisions impulsively. And I don't like calling it immature because I think that we're all just at different stages of growth, and immaturity can be a pretty charged way of talking about things. And something else to note is that the Emperor is right here, but then closing out the reading is the Empress. So divine counterpart energy, but also could just be the two different parts in you, right? So it's a balance, so that this is where you end up after you go through this journey. So this is your call to adventure. Your call to the journey starts with that Emperor energy, and then you're ending on the Empress, which is the culmination of all the queens in the deck as well. So that's really great energy. So I just had to point that out because they're both here. And I'm seeing a pretty good number of major arcana. So that's something to keep in mind as well. That's really great energy here, because it means that it relates to things that don't just affect you in the everyday. But I also see a balance of the everyday in here as well. So that's really, it's a good balance. So as you start into your journey, there's a Four of Pentacles here. So this is your, you're starting on the path in the Emperor. You're on the path of the Emperor. I don't know what that's for. You're on the path of the Emperor, and then you get this bit of stuck energy, and this is in your teacher, mentor, guide position. So it could be that there's a spirit guide that's calling you to move away from this Four of Pentacles energy. It could also be that you are moving out of this energy as a step on the path. This could be crucial to your path steps. But so in different iterations, so in the Light Seers Tarot, that deck in particular has, let's see if I can find it. That deck has a Four of Pentacles that is represented by somebody that looks like they are sure of what they're investing in. So I think of this can be stuck energy, but this can also just be energy of you understanding what you want to invest in, and you're not really giving that up easily anymore. You're wise to not just the ways of the world, but to what you want to invest in. And that's a big step forward, right? That is a big step forward. So this is the Four of Pentacles energy in the Light Seers Tarot, and that's what I'm referring to. So this is the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So this energy here, this Four of Pentacles is, it can often come across as stuck energy, right? The pentacles are inaccessible. They're not easily accessible to somebody. But here it's also sort of a reserved sense of investment, reserving on your investment. So perhaps there's a way that you were kind of worried about or not sure about investing in yourself or a project. You're not really, there's an uncertainty there, and that is here to be your teacher. That is here to be your guide and your movement forward. That is here to remind you of what is most important to you, what's most valuable to you. Yeah. So I think that, and so something else, this is just a little tarot geekery that I just saw. The reflection of the Emperor in the minor arcana is the Four of Pentacles, because it represents an element of financial stability. So clarifying the Emperor in this teacher position is this minor arcana position or card of the Four of Pentacles. So this could also mean that there's a sort of another aspect of you related to, I guess, understanding not just what you want to invest in, but how to move through energy that may have been stuck, right? That sense of clarity. So it could be elements of the Four Kings coming together in you right now on this journey, taking those first steps. Your path is the Emperor. And there's a Four of Pentacles energy in the everyday that you may need to work through the lessons of those Four Kings, right? The Pentacles. So stability, investment, knowing what you want to invest in, that sense of being established. Then you have the King of Swords, which is clarity, which is guidance, ultimate guidance, I should say, knowing what's decisive. These are the lessons of those kings, right? The Wands is passion, is channeling passion well. It is being the most passionate person in the room. It is operating from that place and being generous with your passion. Being generous with your passion, interesting. And the cups energy is also lessons to do with emotions. It is letting emotions flow. It is understanding your emotions. It is feeling comfortable with your emotions. It is not being afraid of them. It is integrating them and working with them and transmuting from that place. So it could be that this stuck energy, this is the teacher, right? This is the teacher and guide, is that there may be some stuck energy around those processes that are going to help you on this path. Now, this is the really cool part, is that in the position of the small tests along the way, like the little bumps and bruises, right? Like those little like, I liken it to, I said the other day, like I lost the map, those kinds of things. That's not the biggest challenge that you're going to face on the journey. Certainly is an annoying one, but it is what you make of it, right? The Fool. This is great energy for if your small test is knowing how to and when to take the leap, this is great. This is excellent energy. This is Uranus energy. So this is stuff that can become somewhat hidden and elusive. This is air energy as well. So I think that it might be moving through a fear of letting go. It could be a need to focus more on surrender. Yeah, it could be a need to believe that things are taken care of without focusing on what you've lost. You know, and I think that there may be a need to be, I'm seeing some other swords energy here. And again, the Nine of Wands, same thing yesterday. I'm seeing that there's a way that you've been leaping before, that you've been taking leaps of faith before, that perhaps was not the best for you. The reason why I'm saying that, so these are sort of your companions. So these are your protagonist companions along the way. So there's Hermit and Four of Cups. So there's wisdom that you've taken or that you've received from that kind of spiritual boredom, like that. Yeah, spiritual boredom with the Hermit here. There's like a boredom with life that you've had to deal with, and those are ending up, perhaps this is what you have to find, that you have to finally let go of that sense of boredom, you know, that you cling to. And the protagonist energy here, Nine of Wands, this can be a fire sign because of the fire energy, but it could also just mean the fact that it's a minor arcana tells me that it's more of a habit of defensiveness that is your protagonist here. Now, the Nine of Wands is also reflection in the minor arcana of the Hermit. So these are kind of the same energies depending on which one you let lead, right? Are you going to let the light of wisdom lead you, or are you going to let the light of defensiveness lead you? Now, there are other iterations of the Hermit. You know, you have the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords in terms of clarity, right? So those don't show up here, but that it's what you let lead, right? And I'm almost getting the way that the cards are laid out here. The Nine of Wands is almost looking at the Hermit like, listen, bitch. Like, I hate saying that word, so I apologize. Ugh, it's like, I don't like it because of the way that it's been used to describe women in a lesser sense, and it also can come across as just a not great slur. So, yeah, I do not like using that, but I did it anyway, so I got to own that. But it's just she has this energy of like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I'm not trusting in my wisdom. I'm not taking that leap. I'm just not doing that again. Why? Because I was bored and it really messed me over. There was a cup that was being offered to me and I missed it. I couldn't even see it. But that's sort of the inward reflection, right? Is finding the places where you were unable to see that inward reflection. You were not able to see the manifestation of what you really wanted. Now, something of interest here. So the sort of the ultimate, that big crescendo moment is in the Two of Swords. So there's something that you have to decide here. There's something that you have to be decisive about. Maybe you don't want to, right? Maybe it's an unwillingness to do this. And I think that overcoming that is the real test here. And the Four of Swords. So there's fours here. So Four of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Four of Cups. Now, the only thing that's missing from here is the Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Four of Swords, Four of Wands, which is the kind of ultimate happiness twin flame card as well. So it could be that that is sometimes the missing one is the one that really is the underlying story here. So there could be that there's happiness at play and you're going through this healing process. You're resistant to really give up any kind of investment in anything about it anymore because you're like, you know what? No, that really screwed me over before. And it really, like, no, I'm bored. I'm bored with that. I'm bored with taking those leaps with the Fool here. I'm bored with that energy. I've healed from it. Now, a neat thing about this card in particular, so the Four of Wands or Four of Swords, I should say, in this tarot, not just this tarot, but in general, tarot geeking moment. If I could video edit, I'd have like that star, like the more you know. But this may be relevant for somebody because I want to share it. But the Four of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot represented that sort of knight's journey where, and I think it was to do with the Arthurian cycle. So for my literature nerds, the Arthurian cycle where there was a knight that was in a coma and was awake but unable to speak. So this Four of Swords was really that they were waiting for someone to come save them. Because that would be the only way that they could wake up from the coma. So this could be you, you know, healing from that kind of pattern where you had to really make up your mind. You had to make up your mind about what was most important to you and really finally make the investment and just however reluctantly, start to move forward. And I say reluctantly because that Nine of Swords is like, you're tired, right? You're tired. There have been legitimate things that have taken your energy and taken away from what you've been able to do. And so this spot in particular, so this road back, this kind of journey back home, back to point A. So, you know, you've completed the task, you've completed the journey, you've gone on the healing, you've done all of those things, you've gone on the healing. I don't know what that means. Every single time in this position, there have been knights. So for the past couple of days, I think it was the Knight of Pentacles originally, that it was the Knight of Cups, if I'm not mistaken. Now it's the Knight of freaking Wands. So there is a message, like the universe sends messages like that, right? So there are offers coming in, and this can be offers for projects. This can be offers in love. This can be offers for friendship. This can be things that you are now able to recognize in offers from others, right? And the Knight of Wands here is very fast-moving energy, is very passionate energy as well. So what I think of is that there's a sense of renewed passion because once you've made up your mind, right? And if the test is to leap, you are doing it. But I think that first you have to be okay and you have to take in the wisdom and follow the light of the protagonist energy in the Hermit here, and follow the wisdom of the Hermit, even though you may be feeling like you're not so sold on it, right? That her shirt here says over it. And I feel like that's a really good Four of Cups energy, is just over it. Like, I'm bored, right? So, but the Nine of Wands here is also in the antagonist position. There's not too many swords on this part of it, but the swords here tells me that you're healing the mental energy that caused or was at the heart of this reluctant kind of stuck energy in the first part of your journey, right? So in this position, in this particular spread, this is like the wealth of information, the embarrassment of riches that you get post, you know, crescendo event. And the Two of Wands, or Two of Swords, I should say, is a really like, that's kind of a mellow crescendo, right? But it is inside you energy. It is energy that is being released from inside of you. And I mean, the Fool is like one hell of a release, right? And so the Four of Swords is, you're healing that. You're choosing to heal that. And you're choosing to what? To be the hero of your own journey. The Knight of Wands, right? You're not waiting for anybody. You're not waiting for a knight to save you. You're just going out and making shit happen. You're making it happen. That's the Knight of Wands. That's passionate, moving forward energy, right? So that's where that sits and comes from. I think that that's really connected to this kind of vignette that begins the integration of the swords energy and the transmutation of that energy, because I'm seeing a lot of fire and earth, right? So there's like, you were really sure about something and it kind of made you reluctant to move forward, and that's where this kind of stuck energy came from. But there's so much wisdom available to you, my love. There's so much of it. There's so much. There's a lot of wisdom that you've gained And I think that you need to trust that it's safe. I'm getting big root center energy on this. It's safe to take that leap. Yeah. There's a weight to it though. So, I mean, it's, yeah. But like, you're back, right? You're getting back. You're getting your energy and your fire back. That's so good. We're in Aries season now. So seeing this be you on the way back is very journey energy number one, because it's a night, another freaking night. Spirit's very funny when you're like, hey, I'd like some messages. And then it's like, let me put the knight in the same position every single time, 3 times in a row. I've shuffled each deck thoroughly and you've seen it. So, but like, this is you on the way back from this particular journey and lesson and endeavor or relationship. And I don't want to say on the way back because it's over. This can happen within relationships too, right? Like, this doesn't just mean that someone's coming with a message, despite what the abundance of tarot titles will tell you. Sometimes they are. Sometimes that's true for people, right? But what I'm getting from this is that you're returning renewed. You're in your fire. You're harnessing that fiery energy. And it could be an offer that you're making. But again, I think the Knight's here is that you're better able to recognize, what you want and what you value, and what is in, now that you're in touch with your emotion, you're able to, with this 4 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords, you've gone through this journey of recognizing what's of value and how to integrate your emotions about the losses that happened before. So there are lessons, and this is momentum forward that I really like to see, is what I'm trying to say. I'm seeing a lot, but so all of these cards came out for this, like, now that you're back, you've integrated these lessons, right? You're taking in, you've taken in the lessons, you're moving forward. So now what? You're in this, you have the lessons from the where you started. So where you started the world to where you are now. And the cards that came out are the Page of Pentacles, the Tower, the Hanged One, because it's a gender inclusive deck. So the Hanged One and the Empress. So these cards are really good. The Tower, most people might be like, man, no, the Tower. It's really just an awareness, right? So the Tower, the Tower can represent Mars energy. It can also represent Pluto in terms of transformation. So again, Mars energy, Aries. So this is definitely, like, I'm getting some major Aries vibes. I could be talking to an Aries. There could be somebody where Aries is like the big 4, like Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, that this is relevant for. But I feel like there's enlightenment. There was a small offer that perhaps brought the Tower. The Tower is like unexpected change, right? So that sense of unexpected change, and sometimes it's also not being sure of what to make of something. And the reason why I say that is the Hanged One showing up here is really understanding that you didn't necessarily know what to make of it, but with everything that you've picked up along the way, there's a knowing. Now, I think of the High Priestess as like 5D knowing, as like your intuition knowing, like that intuitive knowing that's a bit removed from the world around us, like the 3D world, right? So, but the Empress is the knowing that is grounded within the 3D world. So this was perhaps a kind of a 3D journey that you've taken. Now, the Hanged Man is Neptune energy. So there's Neptune energy, Saturn energy, Uranus energy, and the Hermit is Virgo. So this, honestly, this could be something to do with the Virgo full moon. This could be a process that happened. It could also relate to the Virgo new moon that happened 6 months ago, when there was a new beginning that you were embarking upon. So if you think back to the Virgo new moon, the date for which has escaped me, because I am very, I was going to say, there are times where I embody Dory energy, and that's not at this moment, but that's what went through my head. But I wrote it down, and of course it's in a pile of paper. But so 6 months ago, Virgo full moon, right? Or Virgo new moon. What happened at that point in time? What did you embark upon? What new thing did you do? So this, if you think about that at the outset and then kind of start this over again, if you're, taken to watching things over again, like I do sometimes to get the messages, there could be something that happened at that point in time where this was sort of, now this is where you're at, but you sort of started at that place of completion, and That was like a Saturn lesson. And Saturn lessons aren't, there's Saturn lessons, there's Tower lessons, there's Uranus lessons, there's Neptune lessons. All the planets have lessons. The outer ones, can have more intense lessons, specifically Saturn and Pluto in particular. But I think the Saturn lesson here was really about learning to trust yourself again, and to also to know what to carry and what not to take with you. I think about the Nine of Wands. So going from the Nine of Wands here to the Nine of Wands to the Knight of Wands. So you have to know what to carry and what not to, because you can't carry it all. If you're looking to move forward quickly, and I'm not talking about like some, get rich quick or get healed quick or, do this fast. I'm talking about this allows you to move forward with momentum and much greater ease, right? You're still putting in the work, but you're not putting in unnecessary work. Like, this is busy work. Nine of Wands is busy work. Nine of Wands is work that you don't need to do, but that you're just doing because you think it's productive, because you think it's useful, right? Knight of Wands is knowing what to move forward passionately about, right? I almost feel like this is they call it, for my generation, I'm like an elder millennial, which is ridiculous to say out loud. It just feels weird. Like I'm still, people are like, you're still a millennial. I'm like, right, but I'm like at the far end. Like I'm an old ass millennial. Like, I don't even know. But this Nine of Wands energy is multi-potentialite, is a word that's often been used to describe members of my generation, right? And having ADHD, I can sometimes say like, oh, I've wanted to do X, Y, and Z thing, and I'm just invested in all this stuff. And I think that there's something to be said for, there's a book called One Thing, and I can't remember the author, but one thing will get you, move forward on one thing, as opposed to thinking that you need 9 things, right? And you can always return to doing multiple things, but it really, I feel like maybe this is a side story for somebody, that those 9 things are really weighing you down, and that there's some wisdom to admitting that, because it's really going to free you. It's really going to free you. So that just came out of nowhere. Whew. So again, that Virgo new moon, and then coming back to this little thing here, this little thing-a-ling, I think the Empress tells me that there's a coming together of the queens, similar to the coming together of the kings here. And this is like, I'm really feeling the world energy. Like there's a completion. There's a completion here. There's a Saturn lesson that was being learned, that you integrated. And I think that you're becoming aware of it now. Mars, Aries. So this season, it could have had to do with the first house, right? That something to do with your body, something to do with the way other people saw you. First house is also kind of an internal process. It's internal stuff that people can see, but not necessarily. It's hard to explain that, what I'm trying to say there, but nonetheless, that could have been for somebody, that it's more of an internal process. Yeah. This also just came to mind, so forgive me. These are just messages that are coming through. So this is all the channeling goodness. So the Four of Cups is kind of like divine boredom. And I think I mentioned that, like divine boredom, right? The Hermit and the Four of Cups. And I think that the divine drunkenness card here is really like, it's important for you to remember. And this is kind of like a cup. I see it as like a cup, also a portal, right? Like this may be the cup that you're being offered and you're like, hell no, I won't go, right? Like I don't even know. I haven't watched anything with cheerleading in it. 3333 just came up on the time. I haven't watched anything with cheerleading in it, so I don't know where that came from. But the divine drunkenness piece, like you're being offered this fiery, passionate energy, and you're like, no, thank you. So the guidance here may be that this is really your ally in disguise. Your ally in disguise is just letting yourself love stuff, letting yourself be passionate about stuff, and getting like a little bit drunk on divine energy. And some people might be like, well, what does that mean? Where do you get that at the LCBO? For anyone watching that's from the United States, the LCBO is basically like the county liquor house where they sell all the alcohol, because they can only sell limited amounts of it in grocery stores now. Originally, it wasn't for sale in grocery stores, so that was the only place you could get it. For my friends here in Ontario, it is the LICBO. That's what we call it. Divine drunkenness, though, is really a call to allow yourself pleasure, allow yourself to integrate that fifth house energy, right? That fun, that joy, that sex, that pleasure, that it's all that good stuff. I mean, just moments of drunkenness, right? Which sounds weird. Get hammered. No, I'm kidding. On the universe. Anyway, I don't go out and do that, my friends, and then be like, oh, they told me to do it on the tarot. No, 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 no. Build in breaks. I think that this is temperance energy. So temper the seriousness with what you're doing with elements of pleasure, right? With elements of pleasure. And perhaps this was the offer that kind of the straw, the last straw, the final straw. There was some kind of offer. I'm hearing final straw because I got the image of the hanged one being held up by that, even though they're being held up by rope. So I think that there was something that you weren't expecting, but and it could have been an awareness of, things that you were investing in before that you realize, like, now, and you can safely embody what you want to invest in. You can safely embody the lessons of the queens. And that's how you can stand in this emperor, this more masculine leaning energy. Though I dislike gender binaries, we know this. If you've, spent any time on this channel, you will know that I am trans, and that can, balancing those things can be tricky for me, and also sharing them here. But I know that the tarot is built this way, and to use it is to also use that energy. So I think that there's more masculine leaning energies that you have started with, or you are starting with, and then you are kind of coming full circle and integrating lessons of these more feminine leaning energies as well, right? So the Queen of Swords, self-protection, clarity, Queen of Pentacles, confidence, investing in yourself. Queen of Wands is stepping into your passion, and also stepping into that fiery, passionate energy for projects, for people. The Strength card, the Leo card, clarifying some stuff. So this didn't come out with these cards here, but I pulled it for just general clarification, and it's the Leo energy. So I'm getting some like fifth house. So I have Leo, the fifth house. I have Libra in my South node, so I'm very acquainted with that energy, and just how that there's good sides and bad sides to it, right? So that divine drunkenness can be like the runaway fifth house energy, the runaway energy of pleasure and fun, and doing all of that stuff, and how that can be kind of it can kind of move into not necessarily the realm of addiction, but I think that it can move into the realm of too much of a good thing. Because, after a while, what's the purpose? You just get bored, right? You just get bored of it, because it's not intermittent. It's not like building in breaks of the pleasure. It's just all the time. So then what, right? So there's lessons that you're learning, though, about what to invest in. Page of Pentacles, Tower, Hanged Man, Empress, or Hanged One, I should say, Empress. So in terms of planets here, we have quite a few. So I'll go over them again, just so that to recap. This is, I don't know what that sound was. So we have Mars, we have Neptune, we have Saturn, we have Uranus. And in terms of signs, we have, and Venus. So we also have Venus. We have Venus too. In terms of signs, I'm seeing Aries, I'm seeing Virgo, and I'm seeing Leo. So Aries, Virgo, and Leo, and also air elements. So it could be Aquarius. So it could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So those signs could feature prominently in your chart. They could be those houses, the houses that they rule. So Aries is first house, Virgo is sixth house, air elements, 11th house, Gemini is the third house, Libra is, Spirit, seventh house, and then Leo is the fifth house. So those houses could feature prominently in your chart. There could be placements that were, kind of like, boom, activated at this time. That's my activation sound. You're welcome. So I'm going to pull some clarifying messages here. So I'm getting that this particular creative message, if there was like a daily creative message, is that there's something that you are I wouldn't say not only healing, but that this is something that's bigger here. So it's kind of like a bigger ball that you're playing with than what you might have originally thought. You might have originally thought it was something smaller, but there's an investment that you're ready to make in yourself and in life again. Oof, that's a big one. But I mean, the world, Saturn, right? So it could very well be. And then it felt a little bit, you felt off kilter. You felt off, out of touch, out of your element, out of the game. And the planets that are here, there were retrogrades in them, right? So there was the Uranus, like there were a ton of retrogrades last year. So take a look at those and see, because it could have been that energy kind of lent itself to stagnancy, but it was all in service to your healing. So now this deck that I'm pulling from is the Miracles Now deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. So we're going to get some messages here. So thank you so much, Spirit. This is for my creative collective. Woo. Okay, so this is such a good freaking card. This is like a Leo card. When I shine bright, I give others permission to shine with me. Ba-bam. When I shine bright, I give permission to others. I give others permission to shine with me. Sorry, I was trying to read it backwards. But yeah, that's great energy. And I think that this could just be a lesson in, you know, understanding that there's a way to integrate action forward and integration and flow, right? So those two things, they're kind of two sides of the same coin. And they're two different approaches. And I'm getting that you're kind of, they're kind of coming together. And coming together, I think about the Chariot, right? It's the coming together of two different tensions, two different energies. And it's a way of going about moving forward. Oh, one of the candles just went out here. It's a way of going about moving forward. And I think that you're integrating things that will allow you more forward momentum. So that's really exciting. But again, like, it's this shining bright, like, give yourself permission to just freaking shine. You don't have to ask anybody. And, you know, you don't have to do things that dull your shine because it's made other people uncomfortable. You know, you don't have to Four of Cups yourself. You don't have to, that sounds weird, but you also don't have to Four of Pentacles yourself. Like, you don't need to be in these stuck energies, in these uncertain energies, this unsteady energy, because you're not really sure. You don't have to hang on to everything. And then, you know, show up and be like, well, I have all of these things and I've brought them here because I'm not really sure if I would need them or not. Nope. All that's required is for you to shine. That's all that's required. That's it. That's it. That's the reading. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to pull, as per these readings, I'm going to pull a note from the universe on love and connection. This is the Mike Dooley deck. So, Spirit, can you please give me some messages to close out this reading for my wonderful creative collective for this March 23rd day ahead of us. Thank you so much. You were born with that it quality, very in alignment with the shine. Somebody needs to give themselves permission to just step into the light here. Step into the light, the Fool. Do you want to know what's really beautiful? Confidence. Do you want to know what's really powerful? Persistence. I mean, I don't see it as persistence, but kind of persistence. So do you want to know what's really beautiful? Confidence. Do you want to know what's really powerful? Persistence. Do you want to know what's really sexy? Please, I know about sexy. Not needing to be needed. And if still they don't notice your good looks, your strength, and your sachet, could you feel more sorry for them? Tally ho, the universe. I will read that one more time. Do you want to know what's really beautiful? Confidence. Do you want to know what's really powerful? Persistence. Do you want to know what's really sexy? Please, I know about sexy. Not needing to be needed. And if still they don't notice your good looks, your strength, and your sachet, could you feel more sorry for them? So this is definitely like remembering that you were put here to shine, remembering your value, remembering all of those things, and understanding that letting yourself shine is that unseen ally, right? Obviously, don't let your ego rule, but there's a certain quality about, there's a certain, I guess, strength in it too. There's a certain strength in it. And building in breaks to let yourself shine. When's the last built-in break that you gave yourself to be able to shine your light and to just let that radiate from you? To be the freaking lighthouse and just step into that. All there is to love has been there all along. All there is to love has been there all along. Could be a little bit of a perspective shift for you about yourself, right? When you begin to find love in people and places where you haven't found it before, it's always because you've grown. You so rock. It's okay to love on yourself. It is. It really is. It's an element of letting yourself shine. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I will leave it there for you, my wonderful creative collective, and we will move forward into March 24th. So that's tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow on tomorrow's reading. Yeah, have a wonderful day. There's a lot of cycles that are either coming to completion or that you have completed. And this is really about stepping into the light of that, you know? I'm hearing taking the encore bow. So maybe take the encore bow, do something to honor yourself, do something to honor that journey that you've taken, and don't hesitate to take that bow, my friends. Shine bright. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, night, whenever you see this, and however it resonates for you. I wish you nothing but light, healing, and a whole lot of peace and love, my friends. Take care.